The 14th Amendment is one of the most commonly cited parts of the Constitution in modern court cases because of two primary clauses: that anyone born or naturalized in our country is a U.S. citizen, and that every American citizen should expect equal protection under the law. The origins of this amendment come from Black intellectual thought, specifically the colored conventions of the 19th century. The colored conventions were a democratic intellectual movement of free Black Americans and served as a space of coordination and discussion of issues that were important to Black communities across the nation. First held in Philadelphia in 1830, the conventions were called in response to an ethnic cleansing effort against Black Cincinnatians, as well as other anti-Black violence raging across the North in schools, churches, and businesses. The colored conventions also served as a space of solidarity and intellectual survival for free Black Americans in an era when this country maliciously denied and stripped the right to vote, own property, attend school, and declared that Black literacy was one of the greatest national threats. In the days when Black publications of texts were literally life and death decisions, the colored conventions were also democratic spaces where the Black intelligentsia voted on matters ranging from the mundane to the publication of speeches that discussed, quote, inflammatory subjects, such as the abolition of slavery. Knowing full well that these decisions could result in lynching or assassination, the colored conventions were spaces of contemplation and spirited debate on ethics and values. When regressive laws and Supreme Court decisions were enacted, the colored convention served as a space to determine how Black communities across the nation would respond. After the Civil War, the colored convention served as a dual purpose of coordinating the political campaigns of Black politicians during Reconstruction and organizing legal and grassroots resistance to reactionary systemic racism. The latter was particularly important in a rapidly changing political landscape, which featured the passage of the Black Codes and Jim Crow laws in the South, and continued institutional racism, segregationist practice, and extrajudicial violence in the North. In response, these conventions were instrumental in pushing for the language and ratification of the 14th Amendment, seeking to nullify the Dred Scott decision in which the Supreme Court ruled that Black people were not and could never be citizens of the United States, fought against the legal loopholes of the 13th Amendment, and more. As the 20th century began, the colored conventions evolved into formal institutions designed to address thematic priorities of Black communities across the country. Many of these organizations, some very recognizable, such as the NAACP and Urban League, still exist today.